This one's for you. A question. So we have an assignment towards availability. Yes, yeah, we can talk about this. Oh, that's it. Okay. I hope everybody is doing well. So, thank you. We try. So we all know that last week I mentioned to you that when we went to the graduate funds and when she is, she's back. Okay, so yeah. You know, and I want to, first, you know, the graduate class we don't have, we don't have people who have life. And I think about it, you can do that for life, you can do that for life. I mean, I would love to do that, but you can better. You never know what that's. And I think one thing that as an example to all of you is to think about, because what some of the things that happen in the program is that people are working full time and they're paying for people not within the rest of their life. And people will really struggle to get rid of something. Definitely consider that no, I have a lot of other people and being teaching full time and all that. Also, the rest of our life is better than. So thank you for looking at me. Consider yourself. Someone who just is very smart. Um, I wonder the best. So, let's go. I just wanted to know that I'm moving through this assignment. I haven't completed that yet. But I wanted to let you know that we haven't been seeing that is a few the second part of the question. So you are not just supposed to talk about your reflection, but you know, how you influence you as a leader in leadership. So it's really like some people use. So what I want to do, for example, of this course is that there are many parts to the question. So you need to read to the very end. Don't just stop at the middle or one part, because if you don't complete everything, you know, those are points off. So you need to make sure that you're looking at everything. How many parts are there to this particular assignment, so that you can make sure that you're finishing everything. So we are going to go through assignment number 2 together, which means that people are doing. That would be the first one. So last week we talked about just different types of literacy and what we do. And make sure that you click on the link to our textbook. And that the link to the textbook you can find on the analysis here. And also I think that's and so last week what we talked about what made up comparison literacy discussion. So today we are going to look at that. Before we do that, so I want to talk about last week and just talking about some of what we saw as what comparison literacy discussion was. We were in breakout rooms in which some of you work together, right, to determine different aspects of literacy instruction and different practices that would actually help with literacy instruction in the classroom. Some of you have experiences around literacy and teach literacy and work dealing with very young children. But all of you who worked in different breakout rooms last week, do you remember which aspect of literacy instruction, which practice was of critical importance that was mentioned? Do you remember what you discussed in the breakout room? Yes, I will do that. Yeah. And I actually will talk about library. Right. Yes, good. I'm glad you remember. But yes, you do remember. So that's really good. So that's one of the practices. In order to have comprehensive literacy instruction, we have to have this practice. And so variety of genres. So after chapter 2, we're going to be going into read aloud, and that's where we are going to see many of these genres that we introduce to children. And so that's one of those things, just making sure that you have a variety of genres of books that you teach to students, to little children in the classroom. As I was reading through some of the earlier video reflections, that's what some people mentioned is just the opportunity they had in school to be introduced to different genres of books. that their parents have done with, you know, somebody talked about lullabies being sung to them at night and all of that, like parents and grandparents. So that is a really important thing to think about. To focus on. Are there other, so Olivia, you and Alex are in the same room. How about the rest of you? Do you remember what you talked about in the group? Or anything else that was talked about? I think our practice was the one to build on child's funds of knowledge in the universe. We could, yes. We talked about funds of knowledge, and I'm glad you remember that because one of the things that you have to know about funds of knowledge is that you need to bring in things from children's cultures. So because children don't come to you like a blank slate, like empty, they already have information that they're bringing in from a different culture that they're bringing to your classroom. So you are going to have many children from different cultures in your classroom. So you need to use their funds of knowledge. Like what are you bringing to you and can use in the classroom that will be interesting for them? That would be something that you can dovetail with what you already know. That would be of interest to them. If you're bringing in something that's of interest to the children that you already know, then they will be able to understand that. So the kinds of awareness is really important, especially when you're talking to people like yes. Yes. If you know one of the kids how the learning is like, they have like all the information following them. Exactly. So when we took you to look at you to your family, had about the child being seen as a blind state. Remember that when there is nothing children and do come with people. They may not be able to speak the language, not be able to hear their, but they know a lot of things. They know a lot of things of their cultures, things that they're bringing from home. They know about celebration, they know about different cultural practices in their homes and in their cultures. And so your job as a teacher then is to tap into that. What does this child already know? What is this child bringing to my culture that can use in the classroom? Anytime you present things to children based on that, something that they already know that they can tell you about, you're creating with motivation and respect. Anyone else? What do you remember from last week? What is the can you repeat that? Yeah, go ahead. Um, Providing appropriate level of for the classroom. And the 2007 of the board lab strategy. So it's like kind of shift for the right, um, the part what is exactly. So some of your children will just need to have very easy books because that's where they are at that point. That's all they can do. Really. And then some of your students will be more advanced that they can use texts that are a little harder for some other children. And then some other children is just like the third grade. But the important thing is to make sure that you are finding the book that is just right for each child. So for some children, there will be at a level that's maybe more advanced, but this is just right for them. So if you give a child that's very advanced in reading, give them the same book as the child that's still trying to read the first grade because it's very expensive. So you have to find what is best right for each child. Do you remember the example I gave you about what you learn is just patterns? That helps to learn them as just right. Remember? We talk about children having digital games. Right? Do you remember that? Exactly, that color coded, all those color codes, all these little dots that you buy out of dollar store or something like that. That will say which one is at your level. I will tell the child anything that's orange, that's your level. So look for books that have orange dots. And that's what the child is going to look for. Sometimes they will have, for children who are very advanced, they will have something maybe with a blue dot. And they'll look for books that all have all blue dots. So that is what is just right for them. So if you look at all the children's face, you will have three different levels of, you see different children with different kinds of things, with different types of dots on that, color coded, so that the child knows, oh, okay, I can now go and use that red one or that orange one because I'm not at that level, I'm in the blue level. So I need to go and look for books that have blue dots. So usually the teacher will just put those books in their bins for the children know to help themselves. That anytime they're looking in the library, little library in the classroom, they need to be looking for books for that. Because that's what is just right for them. So different children will have different levels. Some will have orange dots, some will have blue dots, some will have red dots, and all of that. So those are the kind of things that you will see. But going through our university classroom, like the balanced university classroom, where the teacher uses a lot of books with different genres. You really have to bring it. What other practices? One remember? Time. What you did in your workout room, you know, to do everybody has to go on there and look at what is supposed to on in your workout room. So this is for beginning. Sorry? Yes, yes, yes. We talked about him, but he said that even though nobody likes to assess, and anytime we get assessed, we look at the so that things. But the thing is that we cannot go out maybe with the backwater. Does everybody understand why people want expression? We're not with the backwater. Mandy, do you understand that expression? You know, how about you? Anybody else understand that you launch partner? Does anybody know what that means? Okay, okay, I guess yeah, well, let's just Okay, so it's an idiomatic expression in English, okay? And what it means is that, bath water is what you have washed the baby with. So what do you do with that water? What do you typically do with it? Do you keep it? What do you do with that water? Yes, you throw it out. So when you have finished washing the baby, the water is obviously done. So you throw it out. But they say don't throw the baby out with the bathwater because the bathwater is no longer valuable, but the baby is. So you want to keep the baby, right? You want to keep the baby, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So what that just is saying is that there are some things that are not necessarily good, but you have to look for what is good in that thing that is not so good. So you have the baby, you have the bathwater, and you just want to try the one that's good. And what is not good in bathwater? Keep the baby, right? So the same thing with assessment. There are some parts of assessment that we all just don't like. Like taking tests and all this content tests and things like that. Those are, and then the fear of taking a test, the nervousness of taking a test. Some of us are just not good test takers. If I give you an assignment, you do really, really well. But if it's a test in front of you, you may not necessarily do well. So those are all aspects of the bathwater. Is that okay? Let's throw out what is not good in this assessment, all this type of assessment. Yes. But let's keep what is good about it. What are some good things about us? What are some good things about us? Exactly. You want to monitor progress. You want to know whether the child is learning or not learning anything. If you do not assess the child, you will not know whether the child is moving forward or not, moving backwards, or learning anything is good or not. So that's a good thing. And you want to do that. What does it do about the person? Anybody? I thought you kind of make the bridge is not good. Kind of like you where you're going to put your food and then help food. Exactly. You want to put kids that have the same level together so that they can learn the same things. For your advanced students, you want to put them together, but you want to understand them. But for this, so when you don't yet know everything that you need to know, you want to do things together. So it really helps you with grouping. Otherwise, if you put things together, mishmash, advanced with people are struggling with a particular skill, they're going to frustrate you with it. You frustrate the advanced you already know that. Students will be very frustrated and will disrupt the class. But and then the little ones, the advanced ones who already know maybe this, for example, from what kind of learning, so they already know their numbers. And also the time of them. No one to put them with those who are already because they also begin to have it. So assessments have to do it. What else to do about it? They try to practice so you know what works. Exactly, and it helps me too. Am I teaching well? Am I teaching well? Did I explain this well? Or to my students? Because sometimes it's just a know the person you need to literally converse with send the door to student thing. That's the issue now to be as opposed to maybe reporters got it. What are the students and when you want to do it. I mean, and invite the people who already know. it's really helps a lot. And now we talked about the things of we don't want to be certain perspectives. There's so much more perspectives that is just out of can of everything, and that is all you have, right? Because there's no opportunity for the children to build on what they're already doing. So you need to have quality, you know, helping to know that you're really important. So those are, and so there are many strategies. Plus, what we talked about, doing the learning. So that is a strategy. This representation for something that is which people always stand with you acting and writing or cheating the no. How is it that the terrible performance and terrible project is that the regular also very helpful. What's causing this? All these things help you to know what to do. Especially today, that provides a clean up the so that does help for us. We go it out. We want to bring it. We want to put it. Great part of this. Once you figure out, no one takes it throughout the day. So for those of you who don't understand that ideological expressions, that's what it is. Many times there are some things that are just not good of us. We want to throw that out, but we don't want to throw the good things with the diagnosis. That's what you know something new for you. I don't know if you have that kind of expression in Korea or not. Yes, you will have that expression. You don't? I don't think so. Okay. So, but it's keeping the good things and going on the bad. So, is there anything, what are some of the other things? So, we talked, I wanted to look at what your group discussed, but I did talk about using awareness for conversion, and that is how we need to think about all the different types of strategies that we use for using. So if you looked at the whole chapter, it talks about just how at different times we had different strategies of teaching. So I give an example about my own now adult children who learns how to do using the whole engagement, how they start to be spending, how they're trying themselves. Because the school are just not teaching spending at that time. They thought that whole language makes you don't teach them. But that's not what was said. So just for this interpretation, that's what happened. And then I told you about when I first learned how to teach reading. So it's all about families and you have all these skills and everything. And we did not enjoy both because all these knowledge of books that I think that Olivia talked about, all those things are not part of our classroom investment, the skills about how to put sentences together, put words together. So, but having a balanced approach requires that we look at both. We look at, using literature, we look at phonics for sure, but also we look at those opportunities for children to improve books. So it's both. You cannot, if I want to do it. So what else? I just see a couple here. There's one particular one there. Anybody? what is your practice? What's the problem? Anybody else? What's your talk about practice levels of reading? Okay, practice. Okay, practice. I don't know what they'll do. How about social practice? Did anyone in the past talk about that? Do you talk about that? Okay. So what do you understand by that? By, what is in a social practice? Do you remember? What do you understand by that? So when we learn how to also learn what we the audience because we break stuff. What I just use is to formality as a person. So what how do you talk to them? Okay. So the words are really very important. You don't have to be what you can try that. But of course, much to say. That's what I'm going to tell you. In Hannah, I was to ask you, what would you say? You really want to say you don't like the show, but what would you tell grandma? You probably won't tell grandma that yourself. So what can you say? Yes. For me, yeah. Yeah. So we sort of use different words and sort of people words. The grandma, I want to say so and then second one is about creating classroom culture, about students engagement, and it works really well with the points of knowledge as well. Building on children's points of knowledge. Or we also create building opportunities for children's activities. Also leverage that just all right. So these are the things that we talked about last week. And so this we want to talk about writing. But before we do that, I want us to look at the next assignment because we require to go into classroom. So make sure that you do not just some of us. So you can either put it out on your phone, your laptop, or use the paper copy that you got, or you print it out. So let's go through. And I want you to work in groups. We talk about what you think because there are types to this right now, but we need to make sure that everybody gets it. So I'm going to ask you to pick notes. And then so we're going to have so we're going to be over to that four. Three. One. So all the ones come to this side. All the choose somewhere in the middle. all the things there and all the courses. Where are you guys? So what I want you to do, that's important for your group activity. I want you to read this assignment and I want you to like I want you to identify the parts of the assignment. What are you supposed to do with this assignment? My goal for all of you in this course is that you score 4 points for every assignment at the time. That's the reason why I'm doing this activity. So that when you go back to another assignment, you're able to tease out all the parts of this assignment, what you're supposed to do for each part. And then we'll talk about it together. Talk about it together. You're going to tell me what you found in terms of what you're supposed to do with this assignment. What's your situation, your concerns might be about this? So this assignment, I want you to get all of the parts of it. You understand what the amplitude is. I'm wrong. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, good. So yes, it's It's just gonna be. I'm sorry. To create that could be a fun. Yeah, I think that's yeah, yes. Yeah.
Ms. Rachel, how many pages do we need for this observation?
I think it's one summary, but it may not. So. You may not have enough. That's not what
So maximum of stakes and minimum, like three to six.
from experience, you have one. Yeah, but when you are describing all the what you saw in the classroom, that itself is like 2 or 3 pages. But there is one to the assignment, so it's not just observing and describing. That's one challenge to all the others.
Oh, yeah, then we have to provide examples and you have to create your own. it was a good time, you know, like every year. So oh my God. This is like, I don't know. Yeah. To do yeah. That's a good idea. I wasn't sure what I did. I put it up. So I just know. Yeah. Which is these parts. Right. I was going to submit it and I was going to do the script on the way. Yeah. That's why I was like, we'll just get rid of it. Yeah. Oh, that's what I But that's right. I just changed out what we needed. We think so. Yes, that's good. Yeah. So if you have questions for your group, I need you to make sure that you write down those questions. So let's go through this together. Okay, so what do you understand by this assessment? What's the first thing you need to do? Okay, yeah, so we can okay, yes. So find it for this lesson. So we're going to find a class, find a peanut butter classroom to observe a literacy lesson.
And as I mentioned, if you cannot find a classroom, YouTube videos are so just type it in, find the kindergarten with the syllabus. We need to observe for how long? 1 minute. Approximately 10 minutes. So we need to do 10 minutes. 18 minutes last time. It's 22 or 25 minutes of each. But there's time to do that. Thank you. And after, when you have, what are you observing in the classroom? What? You're observing the student, but what
How they act when they're doing the reading activity, then get their engagement.
exactly? Yes. So number one, what is the teacher teaching, and how are the children engaged? So is she teaching a phonics lesson? Is she teaching a phonemic awareness lesson? Is she teaching about letters of the alphabet? Is she teaching um is she trying to get the students to identify letters? Is she doing scavenger hunts in her classroom? What exactly is this person doing? And how are the children engaged? So is she calling on the kids to say, Angel, come and identify like the letter that says that what she's doing? Is she asking the kids and saying, Gladys, I want you to go and pick from that box a toy that starts with letter that sounds like what are the kids doing? What is she doing to engage this? Now, once you have done your observation, what's the next thing?
Like a checklist.
Checklist of what? And how would you know what the difference is?
Go over the new sentence.
So has everybody been able to see that one? It's on next. It's finished. What are some of the things in that one? What are some of the things that we saw? Okay. Okay. So Olivia, can you name one of them?
Uses neighbor.
Okay. Yeah. That's one thing you might find. What else? There's some yes, you would recognize already. Okay, good. Yes. So that might be another accomplishment that you might see in the lesson. What else did you see in that checklist?
Can name some books.
Sorry?
Can name some books and titles.
Okay, yes. What else? Yes. Underground cipher. Okay, yes. Okay, really. Okay, good. So that is how we learn about what is judgment and what it is doing. But she on that saying, tell me more. You are not supposed to go through the whole checklist because you will not find everything happening in this lesson. It will be just some. So what I'm expecting you to find is at least 5 to start. 5 of those in the checklist. Can you find 5 things in that checklist that's happening in that classroom while the teacher is teaching? And remember that this needs to be for the kindergarten.
Can we include pictures? No pictures.
You mean of the class?
Yeah.
No. That is fine. So what I wanted to familiarize yourself with are the milestones that children have seen about their world. Milestones of course. I think that is
So you can see some of these milestones here. For example, the kids know the parts of the book and their competence. So this is what is the accomplishments of kindergarten? Are they able to track print? And when listening to familiar text, that being read to them, when they read that new writing, do they recognize and can name all of this? Have they been able to learn many one-to-one, without one for the team? And they see, for example, a letter that makes the sun. It's then are they able to notice when simple sentences go to the sentence? One great activity that just can do is to write a scrambled sentence. That's the case. Does that make any sense? What is needs thing? Does that make sense? So I ask the kids, what do you think is wrong with this? What is needs thing? And you're going to say, oh no, okay, so what is missing? And you're going to tell you, oh, there's something that is missing. That's not how you see it. Sometimes you scramble it entirely and you just put different letters or different words in different places. And we come them to help you create syntax. Correct syntax, that is, you have the noun or the cannot speak. You speak makes sense, so they will know. So that is instructive. So he wants just to know whether.
But one last semester I was doing an observation in a kinder classroom as well. Not just within specific topics, but like they kind of confused. They don't know like verb and like adjective and like all this stuff. So I don't think they will.
Hey, we don't use those words with them.
Yeah.
We just want them to create the proper
Oh, proper sentence. Okay.
You as the teacher, you know, okay, this is the
Yeah.
noun, this is the verb, and all that. Kids don't need to know that.
Okay.
But are they creating a sentence that makes sense? That is why in this, when you see this over here, it says notices when simple sentences fail to make sense. So we don't tell them noun, verb, no, we don't tell them any of that. We just want they tell you that it makes sense.
They create something. Okay.
Because they speak and they speak in correct English. So if it doesn't make sense, they should be able to say it doesn't sound right. So I mean the question then is, okay, so how do you think you can say this? So the teacher will listen. So about opinions, this is you just need to tell us.
Yes, in my class, we call these breaks in the morning message. And I teach pre-K, so the year before kindergarten, they love finding tricks. And I'm only in week 2, so we don't start this early on. But an example would be, I'll write a message from the bottom going up, and I'll read it that way with the pointer, and they're like, wait a minute, that's not how it looks in a book, that's not right. Or I'll throw numbers in instead of letters. I'm like, why is there number 3 in there? So they can't really read the words yet, but they start to find the tricks, and it's like a really fun game.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So for your students in college, so it means that they're beginning to understand that there are from the bottom up. You read from the top down, read from left to right. So those are the frequencies. So you can treat them too, and start reading from the right, for example. we have this teacher, like, you know, okay, how should be on either of them. And so you can start reading from the right and tell the children it's really, they can tell you, well, no. Start reading from over here on the left. And with that, you know, they may not be able to say the word there. So you start reading from here, from over here.
And then once I do one more with letters and sounds, I'll put things in, like, instead of saying we're playing in the park, I'll write the word dark instead of park. And they'll notice these things and they laugh, they think, oh, it's so funny, we're gonna play dark.
Good. And that's tricky. So you should expect more. In kindergarten, it's don't slow all that. They now understand much of the book. Not a good time. They may not be the language that we use, like the nomenclature, kind of here, right, left, and kind of down, the bottom, top, but they will be able to explain it to you. So that's what you're supposed to do first. So I decided that we should work together to use this so that this is so there's one thing, and that's different from this. What's the side that we keep? So I do have a little bit for the society, because the parents which is give me an instruction. So to do prevention, to the context of the lesson, certain application of question, and the description of the lesson, and that's not the else. How to teach other children's activities, plus the chronological progression. So what happens first? Triangle the observation. What happens next? So they're giving us the information of what you're observing. So that for me, because I'm not going to be there, it's coming on you to tell me what you saw from beginning to the start and make sense of what happened now. If you jumble it together, so it's like you telling a story to your friend who was not there when. So you need to create that story in a way that the person who was there understands first. So in this particular instance, you want to create a story around what you saw. And it's not so much a story, but just a chronology. This just started this way, and this is how the lesson progressed. Of course, we're going to talk about the children's experience of the class, and what that means is, you know, why children engage, why they can enthusiastic about this. And then the checklist and examples. So you need to say, for example, if you find this to those parts of the book, or this implement. So you may have seen that in the classroom. Give me a specific example of when that you can say one of the little boys will follow his name John, pointed to the chancellor. So I want to give you specific examples of what that show that you saw, you actually saw. So that makes sense. So you're not just saying, oh, I saw this, I saw that. I need you to tell me details of what you saw. So does this help? So this is what I wanted to do with all the assignments, is tease it out. And it's not just this one, but when you go and see for the content exam, so usually don't see just one thing. It's going to they ask you two things. You just have to find out, okay, what are the two things I'm supposed to do here? Or in some instances, three things. So you want to tease out the assignment to say, what is it asking you to do? So that you cover everything. Because I find that sometimes you just look at answers. Just want to use the first. So you want to make sure that you have covered. And I want you to keep that at the back of your head. You keep practicing this because I know that it's important. All right, so what is this?
You mentioned, you can find the video on YouTube or it says for other teaching channels. What are other?
Like teaching channel.
No. That's what it's called, teaching channel.
Yeah, please. I need to get that.
Teacher.
Yeah, teacher two. Yes.
Okay.
On video. So, those are the things that. So, has anybody? Has anybody else? Okay. How about you? And you? How about you? Can you continue to touch with those times? Stop message. With them. Magnolia. I'm ready. Yes. So you need to go to
Yeah, she's still, yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, in the morning. What can we do, like, let's say, let's, like, just like, but I'm not really saying, that's what my passion is. Georgia trying. Okay, so step into.
But this is a personal assignment or a group assignment?
Well,
Ah,
so I hope does this help? So make sure that you all the signs of us. And so that is the best thing to do time and you break and from one to the other. It has to be what is on them really looking forward. That would be fun. Yeah, because I think so. That's one. That's this is For the, yeah. Because, yeah, and then goes to the chapter and then all it goes in for us actually. Yes. Go through it. It's from the book. Thanks.
Right. Not that. No, okay, okay. The numbers there. No, that seems way. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Thank you. I know. But you know, I saw it on the video. I watched it on the video before.
Yes.
Now, we want to talk about writing today. So. Back into the groups when you are in the fourth grade. Because I want, but before that though, I want you to talk to me about writing. Tell me everything that you know about writing. And this is just a brainstorm. Brainstorm about writing, what you know about writing, why do you write? You know, what's your feeling about writing? Yeah. Because I know there are feelings about writing as well. Yeah, so I'm just going to do a quick brainstorm with all of us together. Just to see, okay, what what might something are that we need to think about writing. Okay, so let me do a brainstorm. Okay, so starting from feelings about writing. Okay. Good. Sorry, I need to move this away. Please direct. The reference to me, anything that comes to your mind. So communicate. Okay. Communicate to somebody else. What are you doing writing? We're going. Are you writing? Let your imagination flow. Okay.
Instruction.
Yes. Journalist. And we're just brainstorming right now. Brainstorming. Solve the problem, yes. Yes, why we write or feelings about it. Build relationship. Yes, absolutely.
We need materials to write, we need writing tools.
Okay. What? So, how about you? Give me one.
Okay. Have a money. To leave a legacy, yes. So memoirs, be an example of that. Okay? Good. What else comes to mind? Think about things of, or maybe I was saying to study, yes. Express. To express what? What are you expressing? Okay, good. Humor. Yes, okay.
When you think about like pre-telephone, writing was how you said hello to grandma. Or people who live far away, right? You have to
Exactly.
read people, to connect with people.
And read, yeah.
And now we do it in text all day.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let them know how you are. How you get on. You think about what they call the great generation. You know, these big families, what is the great generation? The great generation is the generation before the baby, from the generation. What the generation after that. This was because everybody. So, but if you remember, even, okay, so let me go back to our time now. So anybody, there are people in the family who were not in the great generation, probably like great grandparents or something like that. But think about how they looked at those people before. That was all they had. That was all they had. That's not letters. And there are some letters today that are still in this story and came up on some letters that were lost. Second World Wars, written all these letters to the person who was his wife, from the war front. Even though what had happened to him, she didn't know that he was still alive, or that he was dead, or that pictures, or whatever the case was. He was writing letters, but she was not responding because she did not get any of these things. So he was really wondering whether I had lost trust in the press. All of a sudden, towards the end of the war, all those letters and things wanted. But she had all those letters, and at the time she was just a people world. So she was at them probably in the war that she had lost in the press. That's the religion. Just before he came. That was what they had. No text, no technology, no phone calls, nothing. Many of them just were told by letters that oh, the pregnancy that the wife had before they left, maybe had. So there's so many great stories, but I don't know that because of all the technology, that and it's really quick and fast, which is good. But you can imagine if all you depended on was those Joseph letters. And that was all we had. That's it. Yeah, that was all we had. Correct. I did it back in my. Now I have three kids, it's like pretty hard to know.
But you use the rights in the chart, okay?
Yes, price and joy.
Well, what are some of the things about feelings? Tedious, difficult.
I worry about grammar.
Okay. Worry about that. Remember, we're brainstorming, so anything that.
And just those rules, where it's like, do I need to curl my fingers or?
Yeah. But you know what, so now that we're kind of working a lot with the writing center, they go through grammar thing, you know, to like kind of fix your errors, but the things that like, they don't change your word. Like if you wanna say, admire, and like you put it in, it says, oh, with phrasing instead, and like it changed your talk, so like, it sounds more professional, but it's not you, right? So like, it's changing. What I'm trying to say.
Why you need to know. You need to know what to put it down, because if you try to change some of the things that I wanted done, like, no, I'm not taking that, it's something that I want to say.
Yeah. And I don't think, I know there's a thing, but like, it doesn't have the same meaning, but it's not working.
Yeah, that's.
I agree.
So, yeah, so there are pluses to these things, but there are also disadvantages. So. Yeah, so
When you read it, like I was, you know, like I changed the word that like they told me to fix, and when I read it, I'm like, this is not me, so I put it back whatever.
yeah, exactly, yes. Technology tools. I know they're trying to help, but sometimes they just are not.
I enjoy writing, depending on the topic.
Okay. Okay, and one topic. What else? You have a right. That's what you do with. You think. Okay, like, I don't know, like, certain stuff. Feel like I put everything down, but that's it. Then you start feeling. And then we're primarily. Okay. Feeling. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Is that because somebody gave you 4 pages to write? And you think you need to meet the number? I feel like you need to meet the number if I have like that's good enough, like it's just follow the frustrating. I could think it's good, but it's like, oh, I forgot this, that is good. Yeah, that's is why teasing out the parts of the assignment is really important. So for me, you know, as long as all the parts of this are developed, fully developed, that is fine. So, so when God is asked, what do we have? Just like 6 pages, thinking by the time you describe what's happening in the classroom, you've already covered like 2 or 3 pages right there. So you start looking at checklists, and you start also simple examples, like what did I see that needs this? Before you know this is the example. So one thing is, have I completed all parts of this? So I think before you start anything, just look at what the exam is. Look at the rubric, make sure that I always have to. So that's it. So that is what is really good. So instead of rambling on saying the same things over and over again, just be satisfied with yourself that instead of say, and
have actually hit all of the points. Keep that in mind. But sometimes, from my experience with the assignment in November class, it's been this. But you know, I depending on what you observe, you see. For 4 pages, I don't know that do I think adequate job. So it's time for a certain part. What's the example of this? It's an enjoyable assignment if you choose it out. So these are the reasons why we write. And there are some other things that the text mentions, like frustrating other people. Meet people like all of our public office people, you know, we are going to be voting now very soon for the president's for the president of all of our senators. And they're trying to persuade each part, trying to persuade them. Vote for me because of this and that. Vote for me because of that. So they're trying to give reasons and to persuade us to do that. So and we have to go and look. So instead of voting based on, oh, I like this person, or I don't like that person, I go and check to see, okay, what did they write down that person? Because that's what convinces me. What are the policies that will affect? Okay. Also, we do write things down, and I need to remember to do this exactly this to remember. So you write things down. Sorry. Yes, it clarifies thoughts, definitely. And to remember. To strategize too. Yes, like looking at, okay, what is the strategy? I have this and this and this to do. What would be my strategy to accomplish this? So putting it down in writing really helps a lot. But that's not gonna work. To organize, yes. Nice. What else have you been writing for yourselves? Aside from all of this, what else is writing for? Okay, yeah, excellent, yes. So let's look at all of these and let us think about examples. So there are some that maybe we talk about and waiting for. That's how we used to do it. Under what circumstances would you? So Claudia, I remember you said to build relationships. So tell me, give me an example of that. Hunter? Like if you make that all the person. Yeah, usually family members, friends, things like each other, friends, sets back and forth. That's how it just happens. So that's. Oh, my mom before I ever knew her. So tell me more about her when she was a child. How are you thinking about being said birthday greetings in text or in a card, we write apologies or send get well wishes? Those are examples of maintaining relationships.
Something that I just covered, when it was a college, back to years old, and, I had a really first experience. It's that, they told me to start writing, like, and like, like they said that like after I'm pregnant, go back and read it, and heal, and then for those kids like that, and like it didn't. Yeah, I did like over like 200 pages, and like I read like Spanish, and then I wrote it, and then like before I even talk about it, I did it. But after I did that, I'm like, so it's like, that's yeah. It's really good. So let's see. Therapeutic.
Yeah, has a healing problem.
Yeah. Well, that's something that we talk about. Yes. So it's like finally this is not hanging on your shoulders. Don't mind. So, but so I think somebody else organized. Was it you who said that? Oh, you said that. So what are you organizing when you vote? So normally what I do is I use a whiteboard and turn 2 months, just write it in there. Then I have another board, and syllabus. Then I have another board for work. So I like to just write down, just keep myself organized, and I just add on top, and then I just add more. And then I have like sticky notes all over. Yes. So it just keeps me organized. Yes, exactly. Especially when you have so many things going on in your life. Okay. Oh, it's going. Yeah. I have that. So I want you all to look at this list and give me examples of what you've done with one of these. Either to reflect that, to give instructions or to list. Why do we make lists most of the time? Grocery shopping, you write these to-do lists, yes. To-do lists, like these are the things I have to do today, yes. So when do you use writing to solve a problem? When what? Comprehension questions. Okay, comprehension questions. Yes. We try to solve a problem, but between people. Because I think Bethany was talking about how an apology letter for conflict.
something like that. So we do need writing tools, and we know that once they make some of these just not just really right for one by bringing different kinds of pens, the gel pens and all that kind of pens, and, to really even creating a calendar. It's like, how do they have time for all of this? But yeah, they use gel pen. They'll bring this pen. They'll use a highlighter. It looks very beautiful, but the important thing is that you use it, right? So, I mean, that will work for some people, but I know that that won't work. Just not get me fixed. We can just move along with that. Very so, but there are many people who really thrive on just they make writing very, very beautiful and very enjoyable by the types of tools. So, Beverly, what kind of tools do you use, all right? Apart from pens and pencils, gel pens, all those fancy things.
Well, you can write with dry erase markers. Okay. And just what you just said, I was thinking about how I still have like a wall calendar to organize events. And my husband uses his phone, his calendar there. And I don't have things in there to sync with his, so then he has to look at my wall calendar. But, like, what do you mean you don't know? It's the calendar. And then I have like my favorite markers, and I want to write in the birthdays in different colors, stuff. So I am one of those people. But you can paint or written materials. You can use markers and crayons. And
I've seen that. It just makes writing so. I mean, it's very motivational.
right, you can type. You can use your computer. That's
So, maybe I was saying something. So, think about that. Maybe of this.
And that's why like note taking is a popular thing in school, right? We take our notes to like help us remember what we're reading and what.
So, so I think that just the people probably. So, why do you study? What do you think like something that maybe something that was very important, which is your notes. How do you? I used to do like start math. At a very like it depending on the subject, we're very concerned. Some of that. And you guys have got whereas that's somebody says like it's like notes like something because in high school I would take like a lot of regret notes about myself. Like, not really using that. But when I was thinking of like studying too, I was thinking like sports wise, if you have to study place good job plays, really good just not study. Do you think that that's really so our youngest daughter and she absolutely and a lot of boys that's how she just sparks what we had mentioned how she sparks. So very nice thing, right? And one of the interesting parts just the fact that she was lost to her. So when it was time for her to get her immunization license, she went and dug out English, social studies, and science. Okay, I don't know where those are. She said, I'm sure they're in the basement. So she went and she actually built it up. That is how she studied for her. She said, oh, you know, this. Actually, that's what she was very, very. I think that just came for fun. And she saw something that she just remembered. When she went through all of this, of course, she looked online to see what that standards are. So, but I just remembered that she took that. She started talking to my before, but she had them. But I think that's just because she just. I think sophomore in chemistry notes because I did like really good one chemistry and I was so sure I was gonna do it later. I still have them. I haven't taken a chemistry class since. Should the occasion ever come up, but I don't go back. Those were some good scaffolding, but good. So it's just fascinating to see how people are. How about this punctuation and grammar? What are some thoughts? I think that we teach writing. I would say better. It doesn't fit me. It doesn't change student.
Well, I remember when I was in high school, we had to write it first. Like now like you know, and I think they're kind of bringing back, but it's very good.
What's your opinion? I don't agree.
No, that was sixth grade. But, yeah,
Usually by third.
it's not right. Like, it all like I didn't really agree.
In my country,
I didn't.
in my country, when we didn't know this. We did. Yeah, I mean, second grade, yeah. So we started more than six. Yeah. So. Is everybody worried about? And are you worried about education?
I've been writing fragments, so that is kind of important.
And you tell us your experience. How is writing? How did you teach writing? Let me rephrase that. Did they teach writing? They teach writing. So in your mom's school, does she do anything with with other? So here in the United States, the first thing that we ask children to do is write the initial statements. So because they don't have to write yes, especially I have that. So kids are already forming sentences. They don't put so writing the so but they will tell them to quickly they'll tell them to those with their name and inside the friends' names. Recognize their names, but first they put their name in the desk. So one word in each word's sentence. Sometimes you cannot read that because it's not used to use it. So think about it. Children make a sentence that makes sense. So, what I would like to do to bring it together is that some of these looks as if writing is really gambling. Writing is not. Don't need to surprise that start practice. And then you just write it. So that is your chart. Add to it, take away. So let's come together in the same place I have. Let's come together now. Get you to look at. So this whole clear fix that. I put one over there. You know, put the and then put forward. So what I want us to look at is writing as a process. And there's a process that we have identified ways or places where but we also want to talk about writing. It's several processes. One of the things also that this particular book is also reference that is looking at other media use to communicate information. Because when you think about writing, you feel the real idea for writing is to communicate something. That you're learning something or communicate to yourself that this is what I want, to remember something. So at the end of the day, there's a process to some of the long pieces of writing. We don't always use the writing process for everything. For example, you won't use the writing process to do a list. Make a to-do list or to write a grocery list. You just list, that's it. But for these long essays, you need a process. How do I execute this thing? So that's why I talk about writing. process. So in your groups, I want you to take a look at this process of writing. So we have 4 groups, aren't you? 4. And so I want you to look at the draft. Okay. I want you to look at pre-writing and the draft. Yeah. And June and Maria, yeah, I want you to look at revising. What is revising? And Mandy and Olivia. Well, yeah, I want you to look at edit. What is the edit? Okay. Isabel and Gladys and Rhonda, I want you to look at edit. So and then you're going to share out what that's very, very important. All of them. I'm going to spend about 5 minutes, talk about that, and then we're going to share out.
Certain things well, I guess you can like fix it in mistakes, but then it's also you can fix it to look like aesthetically. So, you know what I mean? Like the correct font, the space, like that's also part of it. Oh, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just a lot of adding and deleting. It's just depending. Yeah. So I know it's the process of proofreading. So then oh, it's on there. And moves to do, like you said, grammar, usage, spelling, capital letters, understanding, punctuation, spelling, capitalization, handwriting, indents, make sense, punctuations, spelling. So I think like everything in revising, like the same thing revising is mostly like the structure of the paper. Editing is like we should just fix it. Fix it, yes. I think it's good. Yeah.
Bigger tone.
Okay. It's very short too, so. Yeah. Okay, what should just have it? Good. Friends doors. Cold. Then I know. Some more shorts. Forgot to bring my sweater to the cold in here. I had it at work. I used my sweater at work, but I didn't. Yeah, did not bring it. I forgot to bring it.
12. Mandy, I haven't done the PowerPoint for that. But once I do it, I'll share with you. PowerPoint. But I think it's easy since like there's two, just like kind of do your part and just kind of work number two. They really have one. Creative for them. And when I love it, but I guess I get harder when you don't know. Work. You know, but I'm always afraid of. Which is fun. Yeah, got to say, this told the professor. Because it was the final project of sort of and then that different affects you guys too. It's considered 50% points and you have to act as the kids. But yeah, they show up for the they do the tell like as we were going through the slides, you can see like this is new. Like you don't do part of it, but then you show up like eventually that issue comes off. Because so we like let's say so I heard that like that she she could take ones off like both of them or something. I didn't do anything, so I would get deducted from the group grade. So mine could go down slower faster because the function. So I'm glad they do reflections though, especially like the group work. But I'm trying to do that. And if they don't do their part, so yeah. For example, it's like the consequences of your actions too. So it's just when you did do the part. It's not really like
So let's get started.
It was like her thing.
To look at these five parts or these five stages of process of learning. Just as a preface to this section, you notice that it talks about it looks as if it's a linear where you have to do one first, then you go to the next one, and then you go to the next one. Actually, and I'm sure you can say this to your experience that it's much more than that. They're interchangeable. You can move from drafting to revising to editing to pre-writing again, and then to before you publish anything at all. The publication stage is the very last. So before you send it for publishing, you have already done this. And so anyway, we'd like you to get started. This group here. Alex, you. So tell us about the pre-writing and drafting. It's not just that, it's the whole group.
Yeah, there's different types of bring from your phone. And the one that comes to documents. Especially for because they kind of write out the things that it's done wrong. It depends on the thing more about in school, because it's about that.
Yes.
But it's the same housing costs. That's correct. But some people realize that it's a big fear and I hope.
That's it. Definitely doing that.
But said I used this one called writing territories. I didn't know that term for it, but as a writer that asked the whole group, and just to generate a list of ideas, things that you like to do. Where did you go this weekend? Visit your family. And it's related to the kids' lives, so this gives them a great list of ideas to begin with, and then the drafting says, don't know it well. The hardest part is just getting, but it's just about getting words on.
Have you ever had that? Right at work, where you just have you feel different for some kind of and nothing is gonna come out. Too hard. Yeah, I think definitely. And I find that many times when I actually start writing, what I end up with is it's like it's totally completely different. So, so, but whoever reads it doesn't necessarily know all the process that I went through and all the changes I made to get to, to that last one. But it just tells you just how creative can be. But you need to trust the process. You need to know that going through this process. Then we don't what am I trying to communicate? Start with the thing. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to whoever reads this? Even with emails, like such a you read this and the way it's gonna come across in somebody else. Right? Unnecessary or sometimes it's something like that. So have to go back and do that. Emails is terrible. Because once it's you want your you want the tone of what you're trying to say to come out the way that you want to say to the person. But usually writing is it's it doesn't usually come out. So for example, somebody was telling me about this student who is an advisor on the course. But this person went to the advisor and said, well, I wanted to meet with me at such and such a time and you your office. It's just appeared so rude. And this person said, but when you talk to this person in reality, she's actually very nice. I said, well, that's the problem between email and actually talking to someone. So the email was coming across as very rude, but this is somebody that is actually a nice person. So how to be very direct. Exactly. So how can you make what you're trying to say to come out the way you really want to say?
Same thing happened with the touch, like texting. It's like, oh, like, a friend of mine, she's like, read it, and then he read it, and I'm like, did you see the tone? I'm like, what tone is it? I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So
How about your group? Yeah.
Advising, like seventh grade, but it's just that, it kind of goes with editing, but they do have their differences, like divisions that are three different things, like you know, delete a whole paragraph where they use the picture word. That's.
So the editing part, just looking for grammar and looking for, okay, what word? What's the better word that I need? But with revising that moving whole paragraph, they're moving whole sentence. They are rearranging. That's how fast it is. Or, you know, I think the sentence will be there at the end instead of taking it in the middle. So it's just moving big things around the writing instead of smaller. Then going to check the punctuation, editing part. So you write the right punctuation. Yeah, it's flow really well. This, yeah. And peer reviews, what is the value of peer reviews? Yes. And that's the thing about writing, I think, when somebody else reads, maybe it's good. It's the person. So, how about editing?
Well, you kind of covered most of it. We said it was more like obviously like grammatic corrections, and that like in a way it's more like aesthetically like editing it, like making sure that everything looks like proper. Like you're not like deleting giant chunks out of your paper. It's just going over and correcting different things, and then there's like a whole section on like the different acronyms that teachers use to make sure they go over different editing things to take out and make sure they check.
So when I think about also like first principles that when you say, that's the difference in this one's the company school like the textbook that you'll find. With this publishing warehouses, they actually hire editors. Really make sure that you upload the eyes and on the T's are crossed properly and the punctuation with the stuff not the process that but there are this one that was doing have the same thing as the theory. Thank you. How about publishing?
We talked about how, books, like, they have to publish drafts, right? But it's important to publish, for children. It's important to publish since they were for themselves as effective, so that's important.
Then I was going to talk about the grades. I said that like the children need to have, you know, it's. But it's yes. And you know, revenue was talking about things a lot. And when you start getting these at the beginning, you know, we have to use things like the children are very used to, and that's themselves. My pets, my family, things I like to eat, places I like to go, things like that. So that first unit is always all about me. Because that is how you get the thing about themselves. Think about their pets. So everything else at that point is just really, anything outside of themselves can be very difficult to figure out. But if you hasn't said you want to like to do that,
they'll say, they're happy to write about it to Android. So the next part of this, of the book talks about this thing. And these are really big ideas about, right? And, so things like ideas, organizing for themselves and just the voice, my voice that I'm hearing. Gladys mentioned earlier that sometimes you use a word and Rahman would change it. And she would say, no, that's not what I want to say. She would go back to the previous word. So the important thing is for you to know what's going on. And if you don't know it, then you accept what Rahman is doing. It's going to change everything that you got. So it's important to do that. Just for common sense. Go well. Conventions and just the presentation. So these are all aspects of writing. So our granddaughter was in third grade. Wrote a very interesting letter to her parents. And she was trying to persuade them to be able to go to bed. So that posted it to our group chat. I'm going to share that. Because it is so interesting. We laughed our heads off. She made a case for why she should go to bed at 8:30 instead of 7. She really did. She would say, well, and she would talk about her little brother. And if you could just let him go to bed at that time too, otherwise he's going to say, well, why did you let me go to bed so now? It was so interesting, so we laughed our heads off because he knew it, and it was very persuasive. He ended up with things like, what questions may want to ask? Would I be angry if you say no? Well, I would be angry, but yeah, so I'm going to share that letter with. She wrote it in cursive. So it's just very, very fascinating to me. Just how she has learned how to persuade people. Thank you so much. And, so as you begin to think about your next year, think about where you may want to go. So if you're running into any problem, we can resolve that.
And Sharon is in there. We really have to.